You should block any content creator that got Bruno Fernandes on Wildcard.
I've literally seen managers who are some of the best FPL managers in the world in the millions of ranks.
I just think at this point, Cole Palmer is flirting with essentialness.
No. Do not buy Palmer. Saka is just as good for this week. So what you're going to do, you're going to have Salah, Haaland, Palmer, Saka, Watkins, Trent, all of these players in your team at the same time. It doesn't work.
Why not? All these Game Week 6 wildcarders, they thought they were ahead of the game. But Game Week 12, I'm telling you.
Oh, I cannot wait to see your differential of the week. We're going to find out who is going to be another one-pointer.
Welcome to the Game Week 7 episode of Stick to FPL, the premier fantasy league podcast.
So I've been crunching the numbers and 99% of you have not subscribed. So make sure you do that if you haven't done already. Like and rate us 5 stars as well. It all really helps.
If you don't, I'll come to your house. Let's get into the show.
Hello, yes, and welcome to the Game Week 7 episode of Stick to FPL. We are back once again with myself, FPL mate Dan, and Sim. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Survived a tumultuous week, but we're here.
It's been a really weird week of FPL, like just in the FPL world in general, where it's been a week where basically if you didn't have Palmer, Watkins, Salah, I think those were the main 3. Gvardiol maybe, like we can throw McNeil in there, maybe some people had him. If you didn't have these players, you basically just resigned to a bad week.
Very bad.
Because outside of those guys, no one else scored any points. How many clean sheets? 2. Spurs
somehow,
and Fulham as well. Absolutely great. Fulham quite lucky to keep a clean sheet in that game as well.
Fulham's clean sheets are also annoying, but to be fair, they got unlucky a few times as well.
True. But it's been a weird one. But it doesn't matter. The show must go on regardless. So we'll continue to do our thing. Quick shout out to Fantasy Football Hub before we get the show going. Of course, if you haven't joined Fantasy Football Hub yet, please make sure you do. These are tools that we use all the time. It's not just AI team rating. It's also great for having a look at those fixtures, analysing them, looking at the Opta stats. So if you do miss a game, you want to see what happened in that game, you do have access to that as well. There's a whole bunch of different tools on there, articles, whatever you're after, it is on there. You can check Fantasy Football Hub out by using the link in the description or Linktree or wherever. You'll find it, I'm sure. But we need to get stuck into some FPL stuff. And the first thing I think we need to address right now is the rank situation.
Debacle.
So, I mean, let's just be totally open and honest. What is your rank right now? Game Week 6 is just about to come to a close.
I've just dropped into million something.
Yeah. I think
1.2 million.
So you're 1.2 million. I don't think that is particularly bad.
I'm one of the best content creators out there.
Yeah, you are like in the top. I mean, we've got some stats, by the way, which I will share with you. But yeah, it's tough. I'm around 2.4 million, I think. So what I did before the show is I thought we'd have a look because it feels like the top managers, the content creators are all not as high ranked as maybe you'd hope by this stage of the season. So I took the data from the Elite 1000, which is a group of managers, particularly statistical analytics-based managers who consistently perform well. So these are like the elite managers of FPL, always consistent finishes, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know about them being all analytics.
Well, they're not.
Exactly.
But like a lot of them are. But the average rank among the Elite 1000, so these are 1,000 hand-selected top managers. So we're not talking about just your content creators. These are not people who waffle on Twitter. These are actual good managers. Many don't have an online presence at all. The average rank is just outside the 2 million mark. That's like not what you'd expect by Game Week 6. It really is not. And interestingly, 56% have used their wildcard in Game Week 6. Content creators, very, very similar numbers. So the average rank among the content creators mini league is just outside 2 million as well. And 57% use their wildcard in Game Week 6. What does that tell you?
It don't tell me much, man. It don't tell me much. I'm pretty sure these numbers are similar every season.
It's a little lower than usual by this stage.
Game Week 6 to have, okay, the Elite 1000, fair enough. But content creators, tend not to have like blistering starts.
Not always, no. A lot of us are just wafflers, and I'd probably include us in that category.
I don't know about all that. But what I think last season was my best ever start. And I was in the top 300k by game week 5, something like that.
Yep.
And
Nice.
I just stayed there until game week 30.
Yeah.
And I finished at like 250k. Compared to the season before when I finished at 8k.
Yep.
I think I only started climbing out to the 1 million in like game week 17.
Okay.
So
Wow.
this don't mean nothing.
I have to admit, like a couple of seasons ago, when I finished around 30k, I don't think I entered the top even 2 million until Christmas.
Yeah.
So and there definitely is a point here, and I think people are obviously like online in particular, people are more reactionary than ever before, and you know, FPL is a very long game. This is not like a game of Call of Duty where you're done after 10 minutes. You are in it for the long run. This is a 9-10 month game that we're playing, and I say this all the time. The only rank that matters is the one after game week 38. Judge me after that. If I'm still sitting at 2.4, 2.5 million at game week 38, then I've done something wrong.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think a lot of people are like bashing content creators right now in particular. And you know what? Fair enough. Bash some of them. No, I'm just joking. But to think your rank after game week 6 is like some big indicator. And let's even assume the content creators who are currently sat at 2 million finish at like 200,000. Yeah. Let's even assume that. What's that got to do with how good they are as FPL managers? Like, your history is your biggest indicator of how good you are, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, what if you had a really bad week in game week 6?
Yeah.
I was 500k. I'm now 1.2 million.
Yeah.
Because I lost out on like 25 points from Palmer against like masses of ownership.
Yeah.
So what? So suddenly this is like a big No, it's not. Everyone, listen, the ranks are very close.
It's so tight. Like, to go up 1 point and you jump a few 100,000 places.
Exactly. So it's, for me, it's just, I mean, there's a reason why we haven't spoken much about rank whilst we've been on here. Yeah. Despite I had a pretty good rank in like game week 3, 4, and 5. Despite that, we still haven't talked about it. It's just stupid.
Yeah, it really doesn't mean... I mean, obviously, we would like to have a higher rank by this point of the season, but, like, it is a very long game, and it's a game of patience, and I think, you know, things will... the cream should rise to the top.
Yes.
And I don't necessarily... Again, I do want to clarify, I don't necessarily include myself in that cream. I mean...
I do.
You do... You're a creamy guy.
I'm a creamy guy.
You're a creamy guy.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, okay. Fast forward. Next. But no. One thing that I do think that a criticism that is definitely valid is that, and this is why I put on screen and I've said out loud, the percentage of people who wildcarded in game week 6. One perfectly valid criticism of content creators in general and the way content is pushed at the moment is there is a lot of groupthink. And I'm probably going to annoy some other content creators by saying that. And usually I'm, the first to defend them because, these are my colleagues at the end of the day. These are your colleagues. But a lot of people do the same thing. And a lot of people saw other people wildcarding and jumped to that. And then, whether a content creator considers themselves an expert or not, they are an influencer and they will influence other people. And a lot of people didn't need to wildcard, and we essentially did an entire episode about that last week.
Yeah. I think also just digging deeper into these numbers for a minute, right? So the reason why elite and content creator finishes are so low at ranks are so low at the moment, first of all, is because a lot of the decisions which felt correct have not come through. Yeah. The Brunos and Ezes of the world, which are like data picks, haven't come through. The Haaland only start hasn't come through because Salah started so well. The then Saka to Salah switch in those 2 game weeks has backfired.
Yep.
The then wildcard dropping
players like Palmer and Salah.
Dropping Salah and not going for Palmer has backfired. So you can't have a draft that has more than 2 possibly, I mean 3 is probably a very big push, but probably 2 out of Haaland, Salah, Saka and Palmer. You can't have a team like that works. So it's probably someone in the comments who does, but like
There always is.
you can't then also have Arsenal defense, which is very important. You can't have a lot of stuff. So because of that, you have to pick your players, and a lot of the times the less likely player has hold. So,
Sometimes.
So that's probably why this is happening, and it's like what's happened here is content creators and Elite 1000 have played heads or tails, and they've said, okay, I'm gonna go 3 heads and 3 tails, and instead it's been tails 6 times.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But the problem is, I think that when we see so many all picking heads, when we should maybe see a few more going for tails. And in fairness, and I think we probably defend ourselves a little bit here. Neither of us wildcarded in Game Week 6.
No,
neither of us did. But in another scenario, maybe one of us would have, and that's just the roll of the dice, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to dwell on this too much, but just a few more statistics for you among for the the top managers. So again, I was looking through the Content Creators League to see where the ranks were at. There's 68 people in that league. Only 3 of them are in the top 100k right now.
Shout out James.
21 are in the top million, so less than a third are in the top million. Yeah. Last year's champion of FPL is currently ranked 3.5 million.
Respectfully, the champions are never good though.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people would say, when people are saying, oh, are you a good FPL manager? What are your credentials? Winning FPL is a pretty good credential.
It is the credential, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So he is, so by the way, guys, if anyone's listening is ranked outside of the top 3 million, congratulations, you're in very good company with the current champion. I mean, Let's Talk FPL is probably the most famous FPL manager on the planet. He's outside the top 3 million. Ben Krellin, who I think
he's got like 10 top 10k finishes in a row.
He is like genuinely one of the best FPL managers on the globe. He's at 1.3 million. So
there we go. It's official. I'm better than Ben Krellin. That's what this says apparently.
Yeah. If the season is so important and ends at Game Week 6, then Sim is better than one of the greatest FPL managers on the planet. There we have it.
No, it's bizarre.
It's factual.
It's bizarre. I think on the groupthink point, it's interesting. I get it, but that happens in a group chat as much as it happens in the wider FPL community, right? So when I first started playing FPL, I spoke to regularly probably like 10 other managers. We were just in a chat together. And I'd look at some of the transfers that we'd made or the captains that we chose that week, and you compare that to the field and you think, whoa, how have we only decided to do this at 100% rate compared to everyone else doing it at like a 30% rate? So yeah, it's true. Like if you're all in communication and not communication, but if you're all visible to each other in terms of what kind of decisions that you're making, and everyone's talking on Twitter, and like it turns into one big group chat.
Yeah,
and there is some level of groupthink, but template does well.
Yeah, historically, every year
the template is groupthink. Like the template over the season tends to do well. There's runs when it doesn't. And that's when people who are a lot more differential do well. And there's runs when it does. And that's when people who aren't different, who are differential don't do well. So, like, I don't want to sit here and say, oh my God, suddenly there's groupthink in the FPL. Groupthink's been here since template has been here.
Yeah, but the difference is this season, the groupthink isn't working.
It has been very negative,
No one was complaining last year when the template was killing it all year. Everyone was like, yeah, thank you for sharing the template. Please continue to do so I can be on it as well. But now that it's not working, or so far hasn't worked, people are saying, how dare you create this template? It's not working now. Do something different. But no, to be fair, I also back that. I think this season more than ever, we touched on it already, we'll touch on it more. There's so many different options and you can't have them all. And I think, this presents an opportunity to go against the groupthink, to try something different. There are options and ways of doing that are completely viable, really look good. So if you don't like the template, go against it. There has never been a better time. Never been a better time. And I think I'll probably do a bit of that myself, to be fair. But the flavour of the week is, of course, Cole Palmer. If you had him in your team this week, blimey, What a week. What a week.
You know what really frustrates me? How much I've been banging on about this guy.
Yeah. He's
How
a
much
U
I've
pick
been-
as well. He
It's-
really is a U pick.
The mistake was not getting him in Gameweek 1. That was my mistake. I haven't I also had an opportunity last week where I would have to sell Gordon and Jota for a -4,
Yeah.
which I don't think would have actually worked out because Gordon got 9, Jota got 10, and he's been given a sneaky extra bonus. I think he's actually got 11.
Has he?
Yeah,
With 2 assists?
I think he's been given one bonus. So that 20 points plus the -4, maybe that wouldn't have worked out. I don't know.
It would about it broke even.
I'd also
maybe.
have Semenyo. I mean, I benched Gordon anyway, so it's so frustrating. Like from Gameweek 1, I was here saying he's gonna have another brilliant season, and people were like, "Oh, penalties." This. I'm like, "No, man, this guy, he doesn't think like you and me. His brain's not okay."
Yeah,
he's
you've
just
been
like
saying.
F it, I'm doing it. So brilliant pick, and just wish he was in my team, and I can't get him for a few weeks.
But this is the question now, because obviously a lot of people have Palmer. Great, obviously you're going to keep him in your team. But if you don't have him, like, where do you go? A lot of people have seen that huge 4 goals in 30 minutes, and people are saying, "I need this guy in my team." My question is, do you? Because this week it was Palmer. The week before it was, I don't even know who scored well the week before. Maybe Watkins. The week before it was Haaland. And the week before that it was Haaland and Salah. The week before that was
Palmer again.
Palmer did have a good one in Game Week 2, maybe. Wolves.
One goal, 3 assists. Yeah.
And then, you've got Saka getting points every single week, seemingly. You've got Salah had a couple of really good weeks. Haaland's had a good week every week, but one. You can't have them all. And just because last week it was Palmer, doesn't mean next week it's going to be Palmer. Like, a lot of people have Saka, for example. If you don't have Palmer, you probably have Saka, or you probably have Salah. Salah plays against Crystal Palace. Saka plays against Southampton at home. Are you going to sell these players for Palmer? You can't have them all. We need to accept some weeks the players you have will score well. Other weeks, someone else will do well.
Yeah, but I agree with you, and I'm only doing this as devil's advocate type of thing. But Palmer could comfortably outscore Salah and Saka in the next 5.
I don't agree.
He could.
Well, okay, yeah, it's feasibly possible. Yeah, sure.
Because Palmer's explosive and Saka isn't.
Yeah, but if you're not going to captain Palmer, then who cares if he gets all his points in one game week and blanks for a couple others, or he gets a similar amount of points each game week, but 20 in one game week and 8 in the next.
Game week 9, Saka's fixtures get a little bit difficult for 3 fixtures.
Yeah.
Are you not going to do that Saka to Palmer move?
No, because I still have my wild card. I'll get him after this run. So the next run of fixtures for Cole Palmer: Forest, Liverpool away, by the way, Newcastle, Man United, Arsenal. Now there's only 2 fixtures there that I think you could argue are good fixtures, and that is Newcastle and Manchester United.
Forest at home isn't a good fixture.
No.
Forest at home.
No. And this is not me just being contrarian. How much have I spoken on this podcast about how good Nottingham Forest are defensively? I watched their game against Fulham. Outside of the penalty, I think Fulham had 1 half chance against Forest. Forest do not give away chances.
It's Fulham, not Chelsea. If Haaland was playing Forest at home, would you captain him?
What happened when Salah played Forest?
But if Haaland was playing Forest at home, would you captain him? Salah hit the post like a couple of times.
He come kind of close, but even in that game, like,
There's
Liverpool as a
no
team
way.
barely generated a 1 XG in that game. They didn't have enough shots. They didn't have enough chances. Forest don't give up enough chances.
There is no way that you would not captain Haaland at home to Forest.
Well, but that's because he's a freak, to be fair.
Look at his face.
So we're just saying Palmer is a freak.
Palmer's a freak. Listen, he had more points than Haaland last season. Granted, Haaland was injured for a lot of it, but he's currently like 2 points below Haaland.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the kid's not normal. And would you be shocked if he got a goal or a goal and assist?
No, I wouldn't be shocked if he got a goal or an assist against Forest. What I do doubt is that he could get 4 goals against Forest.
Well, no, of course
Whereas
not.
Haaland, I think, is capable of that. Well, maybe not 4, because, like I say, Forest are actually not that bad. But this is not the same opportunity. And looking through these fixtures, there is no good fixture here. think of the 2 game weeks where Palmer's exploded this season.
Forest away. Sorry. Wolves away.
Wolves, dreadful defensive performance. Brighton, dreadful defensive performance.
Brighton are one of the better defenses in the league.
If they did not look like that in that game. They literally gave him the ball gave Jackson the ball for the first goal. Jackson just squares it for pretty much an empty net. The second goal, they give away a silly penalty. Again, Palmer converts. And by the way, in the same situation, there's no reason why a Saka, a Haaland, a Salah, a Watkins can't also score into an empty net and get a penalty. Any player is capable of that. Any good player is capable of that, given the opportunity that Palmer was in that situation.
I'm not having that.
No?
Listen, I'm not having that. Listen, Cole Palmer is very clearly an absolute machine in terms of chance creation and getting getting into good shooting positions.
I agree.
Salah does that.
Yeah.
Saka doesn't.
Disagree.
Saka's a great wide player.
Yeah.
He hasn't got the same goal threat as Cole Palmer.
No, because Cole Palmer plays a little more centrally, and that does help.
Yeah. And Cole Palmer's intentions are very different to Saka when
you're much more selfish of a player.
But on top of that, Salah just kind of looks a little bit off the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I do agree. If it wasn't for that penalty, he missed a kind of half-open net there as well. Yeah, in that game.
He's not been on target quite a lot over the last few game weeks, and a lot of his returns were from assists earlier on in the season.
Yeah, true.
So, personally, a free transfer of Saka or Salah to Palmer this week, I don't think that's a bad transfer.
I don't think it's a bad transfer, but I just think it's just a bit of a pointless transfer. Like this, I look at Saka or Salah this game week, and I think why can't they score just as well as Palmer this week? There's no reason why they can't.
If they match him, all right, then you're saying he's got a tough Liverpool fixture.
Yeah, if they match him, you've lost because then you've lost a transfer, and now you've got Liverpool away next.
But Salah's got a tough fixture as well.
What against Chelsea? Well, Chelsea at home is better than Liverpool away.
Debatable, but okay. let's say it is. Mm-hmm. But then Newcastle at home, brilliant fixture. United away, brilliant fixture.
Newcastle looked a bit resurgent though against City, and I do think that Newcastle this season have been a bit of a sleeping giant in a way. We know they're a good team. They were just putting some very bad performances up, and something needed to change. Something needs to switch, and I think you play a dangerous game. This game could go either way. Palmer, I can see Palmer getting 4 goals against Newcastle, but I can also see Newcastle putting in a couple of good performances in a row and actually proving to be a bit tougher of an opposition. And it's similar with Manchester United, really.
Yeah,
like this is not a Southampton. This is not a Leicester. This is not a West Ham. It's different.
That's not the only time when you get hauls, right? Wolves and Brighton weren't teams that you'd pick out for mega hauls.
Wolves, yes, 100%.
That narrative of Wolves being an opportunity for mega hauls only started when Palmer went there and popped them.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid.
Brighton, you definitely would not say is a great fixture, right? Brighton, in my opinion,
no, it's an average fixture.
In my opinion, it's as good a fixture as Nottingham Forest at home. But so my take with Cole Palmer is, if you can get to him easily, if you can either let's say someone's chilling there with Isak still somehow, right?
Yeah.
Isak down to someone and then a midfielder up.
Yeah, like a Jota or someone like that. Yeah, fine.
Nice and easy.
No problem with that.
Gordon's, stuff like that. Yeah. Can you get to him nice and easy?
Yeah.
-4 involving those kind of players, fair enough.
Maybe.
But then if you're starting to talk about -4s involving Trent, -4s involving Salah and Saka, then it gets a little bit precarious for me. Mm-hmm. And I think you probably can wait until after the Liverpool fixture if it's a damaging or a very invasive transfer that you have to make. But if you can get to him nice and easy, get rid of a few, yeah, man, do it, man.
He's definitely a player I want to have, but it just seems, with this fixture run, I don't really see the benefit of switching a good player for another good player. Unless you're in a really luxury position where you have no other problems in your team.
But my thing is, I'm saying you're swapping a good player for a better player.
Yeah, but there's one more point I want to make on Palmer. So, obviously, this season, like, pretty much all of his points have come in 2 fixtures, against Brighton and against Wolves. which were absolute mega hauls. And he does have that in him, 100%. But what we've seen from Palmer since we've known about him really over the last year and a bit, we've understood him properly as a player, is that he is a flat track bully. He will score goals, he'll get assists, he'll do a lot against the smaller teams. The two fixtures he's blanked in so far are Bournemouth away and Man City at home. The two toughest fixtures that he's had this season. He's created nothing, hardly taken a shot in either of those games because he doesn't have those same opportunities. And I worry that teams like Forest won't give him the opportunities. Teams like Liverpool won't give him the opportunities. Newcastle and Man United, like I say, that can go either way. I understand that. Arsenal aren't going to give him those opportunities. So we're already looking at 3 out of the next 5. He's not going to get one of these mega hauls.
I'm saying 2.
Two out of the 5 he will get them or won't?
2 out of 5 he won't.
Well, I don't see it happening at Forest.
Well, that's just my opinion, isn't it?
Fair enough. Completely fair enough. But if he does continue to be a flat track bully, scores low in the tough games and high in the easier games, then Palmer is an essential player to own in better fixture runs. By the way, from Gameweek 12, he plays Leicester, Villa, Southampton, Spurs, Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Palace, Bournemouth, Wolves. There is not a single tough fixture in there. You maybe say Spurs away is tough. Villa at home doesn't seem tough right now. You pull me in here and say, should we buy Palmer in Gameweek 12? I don't have an argument against it because that looks insane. But if you're not going to captain him, I'm saying it right now. I'm not going to buy Palmer this week. Are you?
Gameweek 9, I will.
Yeah? So you're going to wait till after Liverpool and then...
The only problem is because right now, to get to him would require, I would have to do a -8.
Okay, yeah. That also doesn't help. Yeah. But no, I get it. Yeah, 9 and 10, totally understandable. 7 and 8, if you have a Saka or Salah, they're fine. They're fine for Game Week 7. I think they match or outscore Palmer this week.
This week?
This week, yeah.
This 1 week? Possible.
Saka against Southampton?
Possible.
Come on. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the other big players. So we've got Haaland, Salah, Palmer, and Saka. You can't really. I mean, you can have 3 out of 4. You definitely can't have 4 out of 4. If you're on a wild card right now, who are you taking out of those 4? Say you can take 2, because you also want to have maybe a Watkins or a Trent or something like that.
Yeah, I'll
Pick
probably
2.
If I could lose Trent, I would get 3. But let's assume I can't in this scenario. I'd go for Haaland and Palmer.
I think I agree. If you're on a wild card now, yeah. The difficulty is this game week. If you're playing fixtures, then Palmer just has the worst fixtures here. No doubt about it. Salah and Saka probably have the best fixture this week. Haaland in general has the best fixture run, I would say.
I don't know about Palmer having the worst fixture run here. Obviously, Haaland has the best.
Yeah.
Salah plays Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Brighton at home, and Villa at home.
It's not actually that bad, is it? I don't think.
I would say that's a little bit trickier.
Well, you think it's trickier?
Compared to, so he's in there, he's got 1 peachy fixture in his 5.
Well, and you're saying that's Palace?
Yeah.
Well, I would argue that Brighton at home is perhaps easier than we thought it was. But maybe that's me being reactionary, to be fair.
I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about me, right? But yeah, so I would say I would say Forest at home, Newcastle at home are definitely peachy fixtures. Okay, Forest at home might be a push, but they're definitely good fixtures. And then for Saka, he's got Southampton at home.
That's the only good fixture he has, really.
And Newcastle away.
Bournemouth away, Newcastle away, they're average fixtures.
Yeah, Bournemouth away I think is quite tough. And then Newcastle away is easier.
I don't know. I think Newcastle at home is a much better fixture than Newcastle away, which does lend itself to Palmer a little bit.
Yeah. But obviously that Southampton fixture is nice.
Really nice.
The Southampton fixture is really nice.
Yeah, because they are dreadful.
Yeah.
I can't even defend them.
I'm really hoping Semenyo doesn't haul today.
And by the way, Haaland in game week, 7, 8, 9 against Southampton. Holy smokes.
A few triple captains got to come out.
Honestly, you've done your triple captain. You got your big 17-pointer, didn't you, against Ipswich, right? I'm thinking about that. Triple captain against Southampton at home. That's the next big opportunity, right?
Yeah. You just have to really watch out for City over the next 2 fixtures to see how they're playing.
Yeah.
Because there's a concern there at the moment, especially with that Newcastle performance. Like, how well are they going to play over the next couple?
Yeah.
No Rodri, no De Bruyne.
Yeah, I think De Bruyne could be back by that fixture, to be fair. But then another question is kind of minutes as well. Like
for Haaland?
Yeah.
Who's going to play?
That's actually a great point. They don't have any other strikers now. And Haaland is here to break some records, so no way he's getting subbed.
Yeah.
But, I wouldn't be surprised to see him with an 80-minute rather than 90, which I think is not ideal for a triple captain, but 80 minutes against Southampton ain't bad. It's not too bad.
And you also have to pray Southampton don't change their approach between now and then.
I don't think they have an approach that could possibly work. No offense to any Southampton fans, but come on, guys. Seriously. You watch your football more than anyone else. You should know. But moving on, we want to have a look at some fixtures here. Can you read that from here, Sim?
I can, barely.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, what nice. We should maybe have it on the other screen, but it doesn't matter too much. So we're talking about fixture swings and next wildcard opportunities. So we'll do a similar thing as we did last week, where we have a look at the fixtures from 7 till 11, and then have a look at the fixtures from 12 onwards. So, remember this list of teams towards the top with the best fixtures. You got your Brentford, Spurs, we've got Man City up there, we've got kind of Forest kind of around the middle there, Liverpool kind of on the low side, Arsenal and Chelsea right at the bottom. I mean, after this game week for Arsenal, the fixtures are just horror. So you see teams like Arsenal and Chelsea right towards the bottom. You're not going to really want too many Arsenal, Chelsea players, Newcastle players, Villa players, necessarily Liverpool players. But that all changes from game week 12. So remember the teams at the bottom and remember the teams at the top. It switches. It does a complete flip pretty much. So we see Arsenal now with the second best fixtures from game week 12. Maybe I should be reading out some of these fixtures, by the way. So from game week 12, Arsenal play the likes of, they would have just played Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea. And then from 12, they play Forest, West Ham, Man United, Fulham, Everton, Palace, Ipswich. So really nice switcheroonie there. Liverpool, they're a little bit lower, I think. Where are Liverpool? Okay, Liverpool are towards the bottom again there. Spurs right at the bottom. So Spurs, nice short-term picks. Solanke, Maddison, Porro, great. But you're probably not going to want them from 12. Another team is Chelsea. We kind of mentioned already. Chelsea, after I genuinely just don't think Chelsea have good fixtures. I mean, maybe have Palmer, but you're not going to go Palmer, Jackson, Colwill. You're not going to triple up. But from 12, a triple up is very much on the cards. They play Leicester, Aston Villa, Southampton, Spurs, Brentford, Everton, etc., etc. So there's a lot of switcheroonies here. A lot of switcheroonies.
It would be a brilliant opportunity to go without Haaland in this run.
Do you think so?
Load up on Arsenal and Chelsea.
Yeah, definitely Arsenal and Chelsea.
And then you can pick up your Watkins as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because Watkins' fixtures look good from 12 as well. City play Spurs and Liverpool back-to-back from 12 and 13.
Then is that United or Forest?
Then Forest in 14.
You know, the hardest team in the league to play against.
Third hardest. Come on.
So they've got Spurs, Liverpool, Forest, Crystal Palace, and then Manchester United.
Yeah, there's some tough ones.
So, could that be an opportunity to go without Haaland?
I certainly think it's an opportunity to captain someone else than Haaland. But it's like if you're wildcarding, you're kind of building a team for maybe a slightly longer time anyway. So you might just want it to stick around even through the couple of difficult fixtures.
But if you're not captaining Haaland, you're gambling against him anyway.
Yeah.
So surely you might as well just go B to the wall.
Damage limitation though, isn't it? But yeah, maybe. Like game week 13... Man City play Liverpool away. It's tough. Arsenal play West Ham away. Quite nice. Maybe there's an opportunity for Saka there. Chelsea, Aston Villa at home. Maybe. Got Brentford and Burmo plays against Leicester at home, but then his fixtures do get tougher from there.
When's Christmas?
When's Christmas?
Yes.
25th of December, same as every year, my friend.
Oh, wow. I thought they changed it.
I actually don't know. Should I have a look?
Game week 18?
Might be a little later than that. Right, let me tell you. Christmas is... Oh, shit. Boxing Day is game week 18.
Oh.
So there you go. Why do you ask?
Just gives you a little bit of context of how far away this is.
Oh, yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, this is in very little context. So yeah, this would all that you see on screen is up until the 14th of December. 2 international breaks between now and one in October, one in November. Not looking.
I'm really trying to get my England caps, man. I want to go to America for the World Cup.
Really?
Yeah, and if I attend 15 fixtures between now and the World Cup, I should be all but guaranteed to get my tickets.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sweet. I don't go to enough England games, to be honest. I think I've been to one ever England game. How many have you been to?
I'm going to my 3rd in November.
Okay. So you still...
I've just started.
you just started your England
Because
game.
I went to Germany for the Euros.
You did?
Yeah, but didn't watch the football. Like, didn't go.
We went to the fan park, so
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But that was good fun. I was like really trying to get a ticket for that. But yeah, just being on the official England fan club thing just makes your life so much easier. Plus the Euros, Wembley. Next one.
True.
Yes.
So you have your points and stuff ready for that as well.
So I'll be like all but guaranteed, so long as I keep going. All but guaranteed.
Very, very nice. Very nice.
If you ever want to go to England game, shout me.
Yeah. Should we do it? Should we do stick to FPL tour, like world tour, and then to America?
Yeah.
In a couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'd love that. To be fair,
we're playing Greece on.
Is this live, by the way? Is this going out?
What, this part?
This year?
It can do. I kind of got distracted, to be honest.
A little bit there, mate. I mean, it's fine. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy a little bit of off-topic chat, but
10th of October.
10th of October.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, we should probably do as the title of the podcast says, and
stick to FPL.
Correct. Right. So that is, in my opinion, the next wildcard opportunity. Game week 12. You could also maybe do 7 if you're just in a bad spot right now. Need a restart, but if you're in a good spot, and we'll have a look at our teams. I think we're both in a fairly good spot moving forward. Game week 12, man. To go against all of those people who wildcarded in 6, and possibly some of whom are regretting it now.
Yeah.
Non-wildcarders have a huge opportunity.
But you will need to have a lot. You'll have to have lost your Arsenal players.
Uh-huh.
But
if you didn't wildcard, you're probably only on 2 Arsenal players anyway. Well, for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It depends where your team lands. But yeah, if you're on the other side of this in terms of fixtures, it's a brilliant opportunity.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
Right. Let's move on to something that I know you're probably not looking forward to, but we've got to do this. Right. On a serious level, do we stop doing this? At what point do we stop doing this?
Listen, take your points and pipe down, bro. This is crazy. I don't get how I'm like the 1 point merchant. It's been 6 game weeks. I've got 8 points.
Yeah. So this is the differential of the week section of the video. We are 6 game weeks in, and the competition of picking differentials for this season. I mean, can we even call it a competition?
You're like those people on Twitter who are piping up at content creators for having a good rank in Game Week 6.
But yeah, okay. But when you have a squad of 1 player per week, a 29-point difference. And by the way, just to read this out, if you're just listening on audio, for last game week 6, I chose Martinelli as my differential of the week, and Sim chose 59-minute Sharda, giving him his 6th 1-pointer of the season. Not 6th, but 4th 1-pointer of the season, maybe. Because you did get a couple of 2-pointers. Credit to you. Martinelli, 13 points with the goal and the assist, which brings the season table to Dan, 37 points, and Sim, 8 points.
Well, I'm projected at this point to finish on about 45 points.
Yeah.
So
oh my word.
I'm projected to beat you at this rate.
Okay, if I scored 0 points for the rest of the season, you might beat me. If I just pick like Barco every week for the rest of the season, yeah, it might work in your favor.
You gotta help a brother out, man. Like, give me one easy week.
No, no, I'm enjoying this too much. I really am. But I reckon you're still good for a top 2 finish. Right. Okay. So just so you know, guys, if you are thinking of picking a differential for Game Week 7, and you want someone to avoid because you know they're going to score either 1 or 2 points, let's introduce Sim's differential of the week.
So I've stopped trying to chase a ceiling. I'm now chasing floors. I've gone for, is it Julian or Julian?
Jurian
Timber. Almost guaranteed to start in my opinion, and a nice 6 points to get me off to a bit of a better start. I'm trying to get some points on the board. So, guaranteed they'll concede 2 now.
Yeah, it's kind of written in the stars. But yeah, Timber, I think for the short term at least, I think he's pretty good for minutes.
Yeah.
Like if Ben White's injury is more significant, maybe. Hopefully we find out a little bit more about that before the PSG game from Arteta, what the situation is with White. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, like it. Yeah, you maybe topped out at 6 points. But saying that, didn't he get like an assist or something last week?
Let's hope he does it this week.
He's
not that tall, is he?
5'11".
He's not really a set piece threat.
No, but he plays quite advanced on that right-hand side.
Yeah.
Which is handy. Oh, he got 4 points. Yes, he did get an assist.
Nice.
So, yeah, maybe a tiny bit of assist threat. By the way, 0.21 XG in that game for him against Leicester, 0.12 XA. But if you are looking for a differential who's actually going to score points, may I introduce you to my differential of the week? Trossard.
We both go for Arsenal.
Yeah. So I went Martinelli last week. This time I'm going to go Trossard. I like this pick a lot. To an extent where I might actually put him in my team this week, depending on minutes in the PSG game and also depending on Mikel Merino, because he is kind of close to be able to start for Arsenal, and that could threaten Trossard's minutes. But Trossard has been playing as a striker for Arsenal, really, which is why he's managed to get involved in the goals, particularly this week where he got a goal and an assist. Could have had 2 goals there, really, if it was like a marginal deflection own goal kind of thing. So almost 2 goals, but he got the own goal assist in the end. But yeah, when you've got an Arsenal striker who is listed as a midfielder and is only 6.9 million and no one's picking him, 1.8% selected, against Southampton at home, it's an opportunity to go big.
Who are you selling?
It would be, I don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to have to anyway. So here is my team. Right, so how about that for a segue? Not bad.
It's Eze! He's finally given up on the points analytics charade. You finally looked at the screen and watched the football. Come on then, tell us.
Okay. Right, let's go for my team and then we'll address the elephant in the room. Like that. So I've got Henderson in goal against Liverpool. By the way, I know this is cope, but Crystal Palace on the up defensively.
They just conceded 2 to McNeil.
Yeah, I know, but it was like a wonder goal from McNeil, and like the other one was kind of Everton had a couple of chances, but it wasn't like a horror show performance like we've perhaps seen in previous games. And the week before that, it was a clean sheet against Man United as well.
I reckon they concede 4.
Yeah, probably. But look, it's by the way, Liverpool I thought looked quite poor against Wolves as well.
Because Wolves are a good defence?
No, because Liverpool just looked poor. I didn't look very good. But that I appreciate is me coping. That is me creating an agenda to excuse the fact that I still have Henderson in my net.
I will not be pulled into your groupthink.
But it's like, whatever. I'm not going to use a transfer for him. I mean, people have Flecken in goal. Is that really that much better? Yeah, fixtures are slightly better in the short term, but I mean, hey, whatever. Anyway, he's not going. I'm not using I'm not taking a -4 or whatever to move Henderson to Flecken or whatever. It's
got to live with it.
Worth my time.
Wildcard?
Energy. I don't need a wildcard. But I think we've had enough. Any idea of wildcarding, I think, just needs to go in the bin for a few weeks. And forget about that. But Gvardiol, Robertson, and Trent is my defensive line. Gvardiol, by the way, I did say he's looking a little bit more attacking each week.
He's looking very attacking. And
he did get his goal. And Gvardiol, when Grealish is playing, I think is a nice kind of combo.
Well, the system's changed.
Yep. But I said it would. I said eventually it would. Yeah. And to be fair, De Bruyne being injured kind of, and Rodri being injured kind of does force it a little bit. So maybe I can't be too smug. It's just incidental, I suppose. But yeah, Gvardiol against Fulham, Nice. Robertson and Trent against Crystal Palace. Nice. A nice 0-0 there would suit me to the T. In midfield, I've got Saka, Mbeumo, and Rodgers. Saka, great. Mbeumo, great. Rodgers, great. Scoring a goal. 2 assists and a goal in the last 2.
5 million.
What a guy.
What a
boy. Haaland, Havertz, Vardy up front, which again I think is pretty nice. Havertz kind of unlucky last week. Probably could have got another goal in there, but was very pleased with the return.
Got a goal.
Yeah, but he could have got another one.
Greedy.
I am greedy. Yeah, hell yeah. And then on the bench, Valdemarson, Smith Rowe, Johnson, and Harwood Bellis. Again, these 2 waste men on my bench doing absolutely nothing. But I'm gonna sell Eze.
Yes,
I am. The thing is, I never rated him in the first place. It was very obvious that he wasn't going to score any FPL points. I mean, what's the point in having shots if none of them are going to go in? Waste of space. Never rated him.
If only there was a brilliant podcast that had a whole segment about how you shouldn't rely on Bruno and Eze for points.
Yeah.
And you watched that. Maybe you would have got rid of him last week.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Bruno's fair play, but I mean, who saw the red card coming? But yeah, Eze's going to go. It's the next 3 fixtures. And by the way, next 3 fixtures for Eze, just having a look at them, it's Liverpool up next away, which is really, really tough for them. No, at home, sorry, but still tough. After that, Forest away. You know what I think about Forest. And Spurs at home, which I know we don't typically rate Spurs defensively. The numbers are really good.
Are they?
Genuinely. Yeah. They're 4th. So it goes Liverpool, City, Forest, Spurs for least XG conceded. So if our least shots conceded, all of that stuff. So in that sense, the next 3 games for Eze are 3 of the top 4 defenses so far. Obviously that can change very quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's time to give up. It's time to throw in the towel. And when looking at replacements, because I know people want to talk about replacements for Eze, may as well do that now. Trossard, I think, has a very high upside against Southampton. And then, we have fixtures after that which aren't so hot, but we still got Bournemouth and Newcastle in there, which if Trossard is playing as the striker, and it kind of relies on Ødegaard being out for this period as well, so it'd be nice to get more information on that. It's a good opportunity in any game week. The striker of a top team is going to score goals against anyone. Yeah.
And you know what? This is very differential having 3 Arsenal attackers.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I haven't seen a team that's got that.
Nope. Yeah. And it's just an opportunity to go against the crowd a little bit.
One thing to consider. You might not like it, but I think it's cool. Jadon Sancho.
No, not a chance. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago that we shouldn't touch Chelsea wingers with a 10-foot barge pole.
But he's been starting.
Yeah.
Consistently.
2 games?
I think it's the 3rd one now.
I think didn't the first one he got subbed at half time or came on at half time?
I think he came off the bench. Yeah, you're right. And he started the last 2, and he's returned in the last 2.
Yeah, but his his assist last week in game week 6 is a penalty assist. He got fouled, gave away for the penalty, and Palmer scored it.
What? So we can rely on penalty takers as good assets because they take penalties, but people who win penalties are not good assets.
Okay, but with penalties, the same guy usually takes every penalty, unless it's Eze. But different people win the penalties, so it's not the same.
Yeah, unless it's Sterling. He loves a good penalty. No, but I think Sancho's an interesting one. People are not really talking about it.
It's the fixtures again, though, man. Palmer, you trust more because of the quality of the player.
Yeah. Fixtures aren't brilliant, are they? Plus, he won't play 90 minutes.
No. Yeah. The data says to go for Maddison, actually. So if I was going to be the data nerd, then I'd probably go for Maddison.
That's a shout. Brennan Johnson.
He is another player I looked at because I watched the Spurs game, and it's yeah, this guy's on a mission at the moment. He's really on a mission.
Why did he have that tap in from Van de Ven?
Oh yeah,
that's like a striker's tap in.
Yeah,
he's really getting into great positions. Yeah,
but going back to the statistics versus eye test, when watching that Spurs game, now that Kulusevski is also playing in midfield, it's kind of Maddison and Kulusevski playing a little deeper, and they did get a lot of opportunities to be on the ball in that game and do stuff. But being against a 10-man Man United team, I think helped that a little bit. So I do worry a little bit about the open play of Maddison a little bit, even though the numbers are kind of there.
Yeah, he's definitely gone deeper.
Yeah, but I think there's opportunities here with a Trossard, a Brendan Johnson. Like this is like everyone is shouting at the moment. Content creators, FPL managers, people in the group chats, go different. Template's not working. We have an opportunity. Let's do it then.
Yeah.
Put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm going to do. Any other replacements that you would?
It's a really fun position. It's a really fun position.
It's a fun position because there's no obvious answer.
Yeah. But even if there was, like, the obvious answers you've got, because if you don't have Mbeumo, you'd go on Mbeumo.
100%.
Yeah.
By the way, again, scintillating performance. Against West Ham.
He's crack. Like, he's so good.
Unlucky not to get more. Unlucky not to have a penalty.
Yeah.
He had a penalty shot in that game as well.
Yeah.
You're really good.
Yeah. He's gonna be in my team this week. Like,
good.
It's been last week was the only delay.
Yeah.
But either way,
yeah.
The go on. What was you gonna say?
I'll say we'll get onto your team in like literally 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Is there any other players? There's one other player that I've got on my mind, and that's McNeil.
Ooh.
But I think that's because people will want me to talk about McNeil rather
Yeah.
than me necessarily wanting to go for him.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of players like that.
It strikes me as like a one-off performance. Like this is not a guy this is a guy who probably scores like 3 goals a season. And
Whoa,
actually, let me verify that actually before I say that.
Don't do that. McNeil's like a 10+.
Let's see. So Dwight McNeil goals per season. All right. So last season he got 3 goals.
What?
All season, 3 goals. 8 assists to be fair. So
Okay,
assists, I
okay.
cannot bash him on that.
Okay.
The season before that, 7. Fair play.
Yeah.
Season before that, 0, then 2.
No,
then
he
2,
only
then
does
3.
he only does well under Deitch. Check when he was at Burnley.
I'm just saying. A lot of those seasons were in Burnley, to be fair. But yeah, like maybe it's different. He's playing more central. He's going to get more opportunities, but
Yeah.
I don't love it.
He's not for me. He's not for me. I think yeah, he might have that assist threat, but it's just not very exciting. And I know he's got a brace, but it was wonderful, brilliant goals.
Yeah, really nice.
But yeah, I prefer I got the same problems that I have with Eze with him. Like,
Really?
Yeah, he's shooting from too far.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
But I think Eze has that magic.
McNeil has magic.
McNeil has magic.
If he was called McNeil Dino,
Yeah,
McNeil,
yeah.
you'd be calling him magic.
If Don Scheich was managing Everton,
Don't shout out
shout out Don Scheich
with the beautiful petite voice
and the long luscious locks.
Yeah.
Don Scheich, the opposite of Sean Dyche.
Anyway, I think Brendan Johnson and
Trossard.
You know what? Trossard, apparently. I think that's a good shot as well. A good shout as well.
Could be fun. Or it will definitely be fun regardless.
Yeah. Except for if you lose.
Yeah, it's minutes I worry about with those guys though.
It's a short-term punt. Like you're not gonna have that for more than 2 weeks.
And that's another benefit of having the wild card in your back pocket. You can afford to take a risk or two.
Yeah.
In the short term. But anyway, onto your team, Sim.
So we never talk about our current team apparently on this show. In terms of our Gameweek 6 points. But
go for it.
I don't know if you missed it, but I captained Saka.
I did miss that.
Yeah. So I went for a really good differential punt, which I feel so let down by the lack of returns.
Mm-hmm.
He had 3 bonus points in a 4-2 with no attacking returns, which just tells you how good the performance was. And now he's down to 1. So just like stupid FPL towers. But just really gutted about that. I think I picked a great opportunity to do it. Nobody considered it. Obviously, some people considered it, but like it wasn't like a common thing.
Yeah.
And I think it was a great opportunity. And like as expected, I thought Newcastle was going to put up a decent performance against Haaland, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm back on Haaland this week because it's Fulham, and I don't trust Saka anymore.
He played well. He played really well at the game. Created a lot. Took a few good shots as well from good opportunities.
He should have returned. It's so good. It's genuinely my opportunity to fly up the ranks this week.
Yeah, it was.
Just hasn't happened.
Well, at least you still have your wild card, Sim.
But I don't have Palmer.
No, you don't. But
So-
you can get him in with a wild card if you wanted to.
Ooh.
Don't.
I'm not going to pretend like it hasn't crossed my mind.
Really?
It genuinely has.
All right, go for your team then, man.
I've got David Raya in goal, Gabriel and Trent and Aina in defence, not Hall.
You're not going to play Hall? I don't know why. I just assumed you were going to.
I might. Has he got his spot back?
Hall against Everton. I don't know. As a non-Hall owner, I'm kind of blind to these things.
I haven't really been
yes. Started against City, 45 minutes against Fulham, 90 minutes against Wolves, so maybe some risk there.
It's Everton up against McNeil, so I'm not expecting.
But
much.
hang on a minute, you're playing Aina against Chelsea. Why is that?
Because I don't trust Hall. Newcastle suck.
I guess there's nothing to do with Nottingham Forest being a great defence that's going to keep Cole Palmer out.
No.
So you trust Hall even less.
Exactly. But I mean,
Palmer.
it's Everton. I'll probably change my mind there, actually. And then in midfield, I've got Saka, Anthony Gordon, who has been sold, Morgan Rogers, and Diogo Jota.
Oh.
And then up front, I've got Erling Haaland with the armband. Big Dom Solanke.
Honestly, Solanke Mitchell, I think he's a great pick. I think you should be really happy you've still got him in your team.
Gameweek 1.
I wish I had him.
Gameweek 1.
Fair play, man.
Could do with a couple of goals from him.
Yep, he looks hot. He looks hot at the moment.
He went through 1-on-1 and he should have scored. I was fuming when he missed that. Like last 5 minutes as well.
He got the tap in though.
Yeah, he did get a tap in. So shout out for the tap in. He's getting a few of those. It's a good thing, isn't it?
It's him though. It's like that positioning, and being that Spurs team and being that pivotal in that striker position.
It's a good sign. It's a good sign.
Definitely.
And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which since I bought him in, has been rather disappointing. But I am hopeful of good things to come. I mean, the fixtures are just good for ages. Yeah. So he's not going anywhere for now, and he's cheap. So Newcastle, Ipswich, Fulham coming up. Like, he's got to get a goal in one of those. And yeah, I'm currently benching Smith Rowe and Aina.
Okay. So you say Gordon is gone?
Gordon is gone.
Can I assume? I feel like I know who it's going to be because there's an obvious guy you're missing.
It's Mbeumo.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, again, considered the possibility of doing Gordon to Palmer, but I'd have to do Trent down to Mikalenko and then also sell Jota to afford it.
Right.
Or I would have to -4 Jota and Trent out.
Are you going to keep Jota then, you think, for this game week? Are you worried about minutes at all?
I mean, this game week, he's just going to stay. If they're not playing midweek this week.
Liverpool, let me check. Liverpool fixtures.
They won't be because they're not in this bracket. They're not on this side of the Champions League.
They play Bologna
this week
on Wednesday. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but teams are playing like every week. There's like 1 million group stage games in the Champions League this year. It's crazy.
Oh, they had Carabao last time. That's why they missed it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, played West Ham in Carabao.
I think Arne Slot trusts Jota a lot more than he trusts Nunes.
If for example Jota played 80 minutes against Bologna on Wednesday, would you sell?
-4.
Yeah. Who would you go for?
If Diogo Jota plays that many minutes, I will very, very strongly consider a -8.
Whoa. What, to get Palmer in?
Palmer and Mikalenko.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but what are you going to do? You either do that or you go for someone a bit crazy like Maddison, Johnson, Trossard, like I'm doing.
Which will just annoy me because I will just have to delay my thingy transfer.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the one good thing is you do have like players like Rogers and Smith Rowe. So you do have a backup there if things go wrong with one of those risky players, which is the same thinking I've got because I've got the same two players. So maybe.
Low key, play 90 minutes, bro. Play 90 minutes in Champions League. I want Palmer. Give me an excuse. Give me an excuse to do a -8.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mad though. It's -8 selling Jota and Trent against Crystal Palace.
No, actually, yeah, that's just dumb, man. Like, come on, let's be real. For Palmer, who's going to blank against Nottingham Forest because they're the greatest defence of all time. Come back to this.
It's not dumb if Jota's not going to start. If Jota's not going to start, and Mikalenko does decent again, because like Branthwaite, he started the game really poorly against Crystal Palace, but that he really, really looked good in second half. And with Branthwaite, they're just so much better. So I would love a little bit of that Mikalenko Everton defense over this run.
He's a good pick.
3.9 million. I can rotate him.
4.3.
4.3. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. I don't know why I said 3.9 there. There's no 3.9 million players.
I don't think there is.
No. 4.3. He's dead cheap. And I can rotate him, Hall, Aina. Gives me Haaland, Saka, Palmer for this run. All it would cost me is a -8.
Yep. And then you could just sleep peacefully at night.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing that you have all of the premiums other than Salah, Watkins.
And Trent.
Arsenal defenders. Well,
Jackson.
actually, you'll still have double Arsenal defense there.
Jackson.
Isak, does he count anymore? Probably not.
Nah.
You can't have them all. You can't have them all. As we keep alluding to.
Please, Jota, play 90 minutes.
But there we go. Right, Sim, I believe you have some questions that you gathered on Twitter this week.
Aha.
Do you?
I do.
And by the way, guys, make sure you are following us on social media if you do want to ask any questions for the pod. Let's see how this goes. We can maybe do Q&A at the end of videos. Pick out the most interesting ones, because I know people have a habit of when people say, "Oh, ask us some questions," they'll list their entire team and give a very specific -8. Should I do this or not? And it's this is only interesting to you, my friend. We've got a few people watching that might not be as interested.
So, from a friend of mine, FPL veteran, real question is with so many defenders blanking this weekend and midfielders smashing it, is the set formation 3-5-2 for the remainder of the season?
I mean, I feel has anyone been playing with 4 at the back formations at all so far this season?
I think the question is more leaning towards midfielders are doing very well at the moment.
So going to 5 in midfield.
Yeah.
I rate it.
Yeah.
I rate it, to be fair, because you've got Haaland, maybe set and forget, and then you've got Havertz, Solanke, Watkins, who can take that second slot. But then if you're looking at the cheaper forwards, DCL, Vardy, João Pedro, kind of disappointing a lot.
Raul Jimenez, not really talked about. He's been doing well.
Good point. Yeah.
But I mean, veteran, for me, I really like the flexibility of having a Rodgers as your 5th midfielder.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not really a 3-5-2 formation. It's a 3-5-3 formation.
Yeah.
But then you just bench one of your attackers, right?
So for me, granted, I get what you're saying. I probably wouldn't want to pull that much money out of my front line where I'm playing the cheaper midfielders are better than the cheaper forwards, like a Dibbling, a Rodgers. Yes. There's a few others that I can't think of right now, but Carvalho. There's a few of them that I would prefer to have in my team over 4.5 million dud.
For sure.
So I would probably still lean further towards 3-4-3 with one of those cheap midfielders, in my opinion.
Yep.
Okay. Bonus points randomly changing days later. What's that all about? Says FPL Moneyball.
Could you say that again a bit more slowly?
Bonus points randomly changing days later.
Yeah.
Says FPL Moneyball. What's that all about?
Oh, I get this all the time. People really do not like this.
I don't like it.
But the bonus points nothing's changed. They're just taking a little longer to make sure everything is correct. They're taking a little bit more time to make sure all of their numbers are right before finalizing it, which sucks when you have a player who drops points, but it's just getting to the correct answer.
But surely this stuff is computerized.
Yeah, yes and no. But remember, for example, we have the extreme examples are was it Solly March a couple of seasons ago when he wasn't given the goal?
That rule hasn't changed.
No, but it has with regards to bonus points. I think it might have even changed.
The rule was, correct me if I'm wrong, someone, but the rule is still, if a player scores a goal and they don't get given it by the end of the last fixture that day, or an hour after the end of the last fixture that day, they don't get it.
Yeah.
But now we're getting bonus, Saka's getting bonus points and from Saturday and stuff. What's that all about?
Because they're making them double checking to make sure the numbers are right. Yeah. Was that actually a key pass, or was it just a tackle? Was these kind of things, so they take a little longer. Now, I definitely agree it's frustrating, and I think the solution for FPL probably should be just don't give any bonus points until the end. Don't give bonus points and then change them. Just don't give any until everything's worked out.
Yeah, none of this provisional stuff.
Yeah, because people are saying, "Oh, this is a conspiracy. I can't believe they're doing this." Go onto the FPL website. The bonus points, how it's worked out, is all perfectly there for everyone to see. It's super objective. There's no arguments to be had. It's really simple.
I think there's a conspiracy.
Oh well, you do you. Next question.
I mean, the other stuff we have genuinely answered.
Oh, cool.
What to do with Eze, answered it.
Yep.
What midfielder under 7 million, answered it. Gameweek 7 Wildcard is probably a little bit too niche, and I haven't had enough time to think about it, unfortunately. Sorry, FPL Kilo. Would you take a hit to get Gvardiol and Lewis in for 2 game weeks? These are Konsa, Mazraoui, Aina. Sorry, Shane. As phase 1 pre-Wildcard is now over, does rank points total matter?
We covered that as well.
Yeah.
Wow, we spoke about what the people wanted.
Yes.
Without even trying.
Yes.
Wow. Congratulations to us. And I think as a reward, the good people at home, in their cars, on their commutes, wherever they are, should the video or podcast or rate us 5 stars. By the way, we're getting like 10k views plus per episode on YouTube anyway. And we've got like 3,000 subscribers. What's going on there?
Subscribe.
Yeah, there's clearly a lot of you watching or listening who aren't subscribing or following or the podcast. Why not? Put that notification bell on. You'll be notified as soon as new episodes come out every week. There's no reason not to. If you don't want to listen to the episode, you don't have to. But you've got the notification there, so you know it's there, ready for you to go whenever. So, yeah.
I have it on because I love the sound of my own voice.
Really? I don't have it on because I hate the sound of your voice.
Well done. Well done. Very quick. Well done. Right. Well, I'll let you finish, Dan.
Yeah.
And I'll pass it over to you, and I will not accept
Okay.
any
So,
return.
just to end the podcast, Sim, have you got any final words for us this week?
I actually tried to prepare for this, but then I forgot what I was going to say.
All right.
Here's an interesting fact.
Yeah?
There are more people alive today than have ever died.
Wow.
Mm.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it is.
It is.
I don't think it is.
It is.
No, I think there's been something like 200 trillion?
Trillion?
Billion?
Billion. Well,
200 trillion people.
You're off by a factor of 100%.
No, I think there's been about 200 billion people in the history of humanity.
No, it's 100 billion. So I
Is that 100?
am wrong, but
Oh,
I just wanted
right.
to-
So you're not making stuff up.
I just wanted to confuse you. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please subscribe, follow, like, and check us out on anywhere you like. Peace.
Yeah.